Hello, here's a spell, and welcome to the Spell Ray. Now, I'm sorry for not getting a video out last week. I only planned on taking a week-long break, but it turned into a 2-week-long break because of really two reasons: me being busy, and a new schedule, meaning that the due date wound up coming up and passing me literally as soon as I remembered I need to make a video, resulting in me just making one at the new schedule time since I was also busy. But other than that, I do sincerely hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, especially with me being sick and accidentally taking a 2-week-long break instead of a 1-week-long. YouTube's probably going to be trying to kill my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to this what if of what if Midoriya was a Jedi. I do hope you enjoy. We start this what if with Midoriya going to school. And when he got there, Aizawa would announce to everyone that they were going to be going on a type of field trip to a facility that they refer to as the USJ. As they'd be heading there, a discussion about quirks would come up. And they would ask people, and this would pretty much stay the same as canon. But when they pressed Midoriya, he would just respond with them. He would be incredibly vague, with just saying that his quirk was more about taking in energy and then applying it to do different things. It was a very versatile quirk, with the others following along. As they would arrive at the USJ, walking into the building, they would see a Pro Hero 13. As she started explaining how her quirks works and how valuable it was to be able to control your quirk without hurting people around you. Midoriya would sense something dark as he would look out, as Aizawa would see this and say, "Midoriya, get back into the..." as he stopped. As Kirishima also said, "Does anyone else see that down there? I didn't realize we'd be having faux villains." As Aizawa would quickly pass 13 and ask her if All Might was anywhere in the building. She would silently whisper to him that he wore out his time limit. Despite Aizawa not really caring for All Might's bombastic personality and how connected he was to the media and all that, Aizawa would have really liked to have someone with his kind of power in a fight. As Aizawa looked around, noting that the security system wasn't going off, as he quickly said, "Everyone, try to call emergency services." As everyone started reaching for their phones and trying. As Aizawa started to hear replies saying, "No signal." As even Kaminari, using his radio, said, "Nothing. Just static." As he would quickly say, 13, protect the kids." As Midoriya would quickly say, "Let us..." Aizawa quickly shooting back with, "I can handle this. Go!" A pro hero needs to have more tricks up his sleeve than just his power. As he jumped down, using his quirk to cancel out other people's quirks, as he used martial arts to incapacitate everyone else. As everyone was about to run out of the building, a shadow would appear in their pathway. Midoriya was gonna try to use a forced push to push him away, but Bakugo and Kaminari would get in the way. They would also be in the way of 13 using her quirk, allowing Kogiri to teleport everyone around. Midoriya would try to push away the smoke, but he failed. It moved too quickly for him to push it away. As he would get teleported, he would quickly realize that he was underwater as he tried holding his breath. As a villain that looked like a shark would approach him, he would quickly use the force to push him away and try to reach the surface. Tsuyu would quickly swoop in and grab him. They retreated to the ship in the middle of the shipwreck zone, as Midoriya would ask if they're the only ones there. As she nodded, Midoriya would quickly spread out his senses as he sensed multiple villains in the water. As Katsuyu would ask if he had any ideas about how to get out. Midoriya would be slightly distracted as he was worried about his friends. As he quickly started thinking of a plan. Looking at the situation, he realized the villains were hesitating on coming aboard. He realized that they didn't know what quirks they had. Midoriya wasn't barely hampered in the shipwreck zone, while Tsuyu had an advantage. Neither one of them had been sent to a zone that particularly impeded them. As Midoriya smiled, whispered to Katsuyu the plan. Then Midoriya quickly did a fake freak out, and him and Katsuyu started to act like they were panicking, and quickly ran into the ship. The villains, now confident that these hero hopefuls would be easy to defeat, as they destroyed part of the ship and rushed aboard the wreckage, only to not find anyone. Tsuyu and Midoriya had managed to sneak away by using his lightsaber to cut a hole in the bottom of the ship as they snuck out, as they would quickly manage to swim to the shore. Unlike in canon, they wouldn't be able to immediately see where Aizawa was. Midoriya would quickly tell Tsuyu to meet up with the others, as he decided to check to see how Aizawa was doing, as it wasn't very good. Aizawa was pinned to the ground by a large, black, purplish figure. A pale man with hands covering his entire body was gloating. The smoke villain also wasn't, but the white-haired man was saying something as Midoriya focused. As he said, "Eraserhead. It is quite annoying when heroes do live up to their hype. But unfortunately for you, this will be the end of the road." As he quickly reached out his hand to Aizawa's face, Midoriya quickly realizing what he was about to do. Midoriya would rush forward. As he condensed the force to do something. In his hurry, he focused energy into his arm and released it, as it shot out as force lightning. It quickly impacted both the creature and the white-haired man. The man, being Shigaraki, would scream as bolts of electricity rushed through his body. The Nomu would also be affected, as Midoriya, being surprised, not intending on using force lightning, quickly stopped it, as a man he hadn't noticed before rushed at him. The man had his head almost completely covered, with some sort of cape flowing behind him. He quickly slammed into Midoriya. Midoriya would quickly spin and ignite his lightsaber. The man would say, "I see. So you're," as Shigaraki would yell, "You brat! Nomu, get him!" Midoriya turned, unable to see the Nomu, but using his clairvoyance would roughly guess where he was, as he outstretched his lightsaber, as it impaled part of the Nomu. Unfortunately, it had only caught it in the shoulder, as its other arm came around and clocked Midoriya in the stomach, sending him flying back. As Midoriya would slam hard against the ground, skidding. Midoriya was about to black out. All he could do was pull on the force to try to sustain his body. Flashing over to Aizawa's perspective, he would see Midoriya get laid out by the Nomu. He had been blocking his quirk, but he was still strong enough to do that. As he was surprised to see Midoriya actually catch the creature catch him in his lower shoulder. As between that and hitting Midoriya, it nearly severed the arm. Aizawa would be almost horrified as he saw it slowly start to regenerate. The man with the fully covered mask would say, "You weren't supposed to do that." As Shigaraki said, "You're not the boss of me." As some of the villains Aizawa knocked out started to wake up, as despair started to fill him, but he noticed some of the ones near Midoriya were getting up but passing out mere seconds later. He wasn't sure what it was. He couldn't even be sure what he was seeing. His brain cloudy. The only thing keeping him conscious was the adrenaline pumping through his body. As soon as that was gone, he'd be out like a light. Midoriya was foolish for helping him, but he also saw Midoriya's goal to help people, as the doors would quickly slam open as All Might would come rushing in. Here it would go like in canon, except though the man with the full head covering would escape with Shigaraki, Midoriya being and taken to the hospital unconscious. Though, to the detective's surprise, the villains around him were incredibly weak, some even in critical condition, not from any physical damage, but instead, it was like their entire bodies had lost significant amounts of energy. As Midoriya was quickly taken to the emergency room, we'd see Toga come out of the USJ as she asked where Midoriya was. Uraraka would tell her that they had taken Midoriya to the hospital. As Toga would quickly rush to the hospital, there Midoriya would wake up, his wounds mostly healed. Only a few bandages to make sure nothing got moved out of place. As Recovery Girl said, "It's amazing. When you got here, I expected that you wouldn't make a quick recovery. But with my power and yours, it seems that you made a full recovery." Midoriya asked, "What do you mean?" "It seems that somehow you were already regenerating. I'm not quite sure what it was." As Midoriya's mother would come rushing in a minute later, saying, "Izuku, I'm so glad you're safe. Don't ever scare me like that again." As Midoriya would say, "Don't worry, Mom, I don't intend on it." As she said, "I did meet your friend while we were waiting for you to wake up." Midoriya would be surprised, as outside he would see Toga by the doorway. Midoriya would be surprised and said, "Toga, glad you're alright. What happened?" As Toga would actually fill him in. "Luckily, you were the only student with any form of serious injury. But Aizawa got banged up pretty bad. He's probably a few doors down." As Midoriya asked, "So what happened after I got knocked out?" As Toga explained that Ida managed to get help, but luckily for all of them, he ran to All Might on his way. And when All Might got there, he defeated that huge black thing and forced the others to retreat. Then the UA teachers came in and cleared out the rest of them. As she said, "Oh, there's someone from UA who wants to talk to you, Izuku." As Midoriya would move around, feeling a little weak thanks to the loss of energy that Recovery Girl used to heal him, but he just quickly used the Force to enhance his body. Recovery Girl's surprised he could walk around like that. As this new yellow-haired man came in asking, "Do you mind if I talk to Mr. Midoriya alone?" As Inko would ask, "Why?" As the man would just say, "Just need to ask him a couple things, and he seems to be doing just fine." As Inko would nod and say, "I'll be right back." "Midoriya, do you want anything?" As Midoriya said, "No." As Inko looked at him and said, "I talked to Recovery Girl before you woke up. She told me that the way her quirk worked is that it relied on getting energy from your body, and that you should eat and drink something once you woke up." As Midoriya said, "Okay. I guess in that case, a soda and some chips or whatever good they have in the cafeteria." As Inko would smile as she left. As Inko would leave along with Toga, as the yellow-haired man would sit down and say, "Young Midoriya, I want to talk to you about something very important." As he would quickly bulk up. And that's where we're going to leave it. Midoriya talking to All Might, the the first actual interaction they had heart to heart, and some more interesting things. But without further ado, signing off, and I'm thinking about doing some more Star Wars what ifs in the future here. My channel's not growing very fast, so I might as well do what I enjoy. So, this will be Spillery, signing off.